Did you know that the way your dog adapts to BARF can completely change his health for the rest of his life? Subscribe to the channel to learn more about natural nutrition and canine health. From the first months of life, every decision a tutor makes can define not only the health of their puppy, but also the way he will age. Many puppies, when weaned, enter a cycle of industrialized food, with grains, preservatives, and substances that, although satiating, do not talk to the biological needs of a carnivorous animal. The result, over the years, can be seen in chronic allergies, unstable stools, poor use of nutrients, and a weakened immune system. On the other hand, those who have access to natural and balanced nutrition from an early age develop stronger bones, firm muscles, shiny coats, and a more balanced behavior. This is where BARF comes in, the raw natural food, prepared to completely supply what nature has planned for dogs. But the big secret is not just to offer raw meat. It is to understand how each stage of life calls for different strategies for adaptation, and how each detail can mean success or frustration. With puppies, we speak of a true golden window. At this stage, the digestive system is forming, as well as bones, teeth, and joints. Adaptation to BARF, if done correctly, shapes the animal's entire metabolic future. The first step is to respect the initial fragility. Never offer large pieces or hard bones. The ideal is to start by grinding the meat, grinding light fleshy bones, such as chicken necks or wings, and mixing it with small amounts of fresh offal, always in a balanced way. The rule here is not just what to offer, but how to offer it. Smaller, more frequent portions work best, as a puppy's metabolism is accelerated and needs constant fuel. Imagine a 2-month-old puppy that arrives at the new home. Your stomach is still delicate and may react with diarrhea or vomiting if it is exposed to heavy foods all at once. Therefore, the introduction should be gradual in controlled steps. During the first week, it is recommended to keep the base on lean meats that are easily digestible, such as chicken or turkey, offering them crushed in small portions 4 to 5 times a day. At the same time, it is essential to carefully observe the stool. Consistency, color, and frequency are clear signs of how the body is dealing with novelty. In the second week, soft fleshy bones, still crushed or crushed, can be gently introduced to stimulate chewing without risk of choking. It is also the time to add cooked and mashed vegetables, always in small quantities and never raw, since the intestinal flora is still developing. Pumpkin, carrots, and zucchini, for example, help regulate intestinal transit and provide beneficial fiber. Gradually, as the body adapts, the organs come into play, which are true nutritional treasures. Liver, heart, and kidneys, in controlled quantities, guarantee vitamins and minerals that strengthen immunity. But here lies a fundamental precaution. Exaggerating the organs can cause digestive disorders, so the introduction must be done in small doses, always following the body's response. Another important point in the puppy phase is the frequency of meals. Unlike adults who can feed twice a day, puppies need 4 to 5 meals a day. This cadence keeps energy levels stable and prevents sudden drops in glucose, common at this age. In addition, chewing larger pieces when the puppy is ready helps develop the jaw muscles and contributes to oral health. The tutor at this time needs to be present, supervising each meal, ensuring that there are no choking and that the little one learns to deal with different textures. And why so much attention to this initial phase? Because this is exactly where food allergies are prevented, the intestine is strengthened, and an immune system prepared to face viruses, bacteria, and environmental challenges is created. A puppy correctly adapted to BARF is unlikely to become an allergic dog or one with recurrent digestive problems. On the contrary, it will be an animal full of energy, with a strong coat and bright eyes, reflecting vitality. We cannot forget the balance of calcium and phosphorus either. The healthy growth of bones depends on this scale, and the natural way to offer it is precisely through the appropriate fleshy bones. In parallel, the omega-3 present in fish, such as sardines, helps in neurological development, skin health, and coat shine. All of this needs to be calculated carefully, respecting the weight and age of the puppy. Another crucial detail is hydration. Many owners believe that the meat already provides the necessary water, but puppies in transition may have greater water demand, especially if they were previously used to dry food. Keeping fresh water available at all times is a simple gesture, but it makes a huge difference in avoiding colds or dehydration. Veterinary follow-up, specialized in natural nutrition, should also be part of the process. Each puppy is unique. While one adapts quickly to red meat, another may have initial sensitivity. Fine adjustments made based on tests and clinical observation ensure that the diet is personalized and safe. Basically, the great lesson of this phase is to understand that puppies are like a blank page. What is written now, with care, patience, and science, will be read by the animal's body throughout its life. Investing in this careful adaptation is not just a food choice, but a decision of love and responsibility that shapes the future. When we talk about adult dogs, adapting to BARF requires a completely different approach than that used with puppies. This is because, in many cases, the body has already spent years being conditioned to an industrialized eating pattern, full of carbohydrates, grains, and artificial additives. This history alters the gut flora, weakens digestive enzymes, and can create a natural resistance to fresh foods. Therefore, the transition needs to be conducted with patience, awareness, and thorough observation. Imagine a dog that is already 3 or 4 years old, used to eating dry food forever. Your body has learned to deal with that type of processed food and suddenly receives pieces of raw meat. The result can be loose stools, gas, or even vomit. But that doesn't mean BARF isn't for him. Rather, it is just the body reacting to the new as if it were relearning how to use old tools. The intestinal flora needs to be rebalanced, and the tutor needs to keep in mind that slow adaptation is the secret to success. The first step is to choose lean and easily digestible meats. Chicken, turkey, and rabbit are all good options to start with. No large bones or viscera right at the beginning. The digestive system needs to get used to it gradually. The ideal is to offer small portions, initially as a complement to the feed. This can be done by swapping just one meal of the day for BARF during the first week, always observing the reactions. In this phase, natural probiotics play a key role. Unsweetened natural yogurt, kefir, and even bone broth are powerful allies in the reconstruction of intestinal flora. They help repopulate the intestine with beneficial bacteria, facilitating digestion and reducing possible discomfort. Gradually, as the dog's body responds well, the proportion of BARF can be increased until it completely replaces the food. Another point of attention is the organs. In adult dogs used only to kibble, the liver or kidney can cause immediate reactions, such as diarrhea or food refusal. Therefore, the rule is clear. Introduce in small quantities mixed with muscle meat. The tutor should always watch for signs on a daily basis, such as itching, changes in breath, changes in the consistency of the stool, and even energy variations. All of this works as an adaptation thermometer. It is common for adult dogs throughout the transition to go through a short period of detoxification. This means that the body begins to expel toxins accumulated during years of industrialized food. There may be hair loss, more intense eye secretions, or changes in body odor. These signs, when not accompanied by extreme apathy or marked weight loss, usually indicate that the body is adjusting. The tutor, at this moment, needs resilience and patience. Interrupting adaptation for fear of these natural reactions can be a mistake. Stool monitoring remains one of the most important tools. In adult dogs, very pasty or very dry feces can indicate excess of some component or lack of balance between meat, bones, and organs. Adjusting the diet weekly, always slowly and progressively, is the key to maintaining stability. Another important care is related to pre-existing conditions. Adult dogs may carry a history of gastritis, pancreatitis, or food allergies. In these cases, adaptation must be even slower and often supervised by a veterinarian specializing in natural nutrition. A dog with gastritis, for example, may need even lighter meats at first, such as skinless chicken breast, associated with cooked vegetables. A dog with food allergies can benefit from BARF precisely because it eliminates preservatives and processed grains, but each new ingredient needs to be tested in isolation. It is also essential to take care of the balance of minerals. Adult dogs already have bones and muscles formed, but imbalances of calcium and phosphorus can lead to joint problems or weakening. The tutor must respect the appropriate proportions of fleshy bones, varying between chicken, duck, or rabbit according to the animal's tolerance. In parallel, the supply of essential fatty acids, through fish such as sardines or natural fish oil, contributes to reducing inflammation and restoring vitality to the coat and skin. One of the most common challenges with adult dogs is attachment to the taste of kibble. The palate can be conditioned, and some dogs simply reject natural food at first. In these cases, the strategy is persistence. It is possible to lightly sear the meat in the pan just to release aroma and then offer it raw. Another tactic is to initially mix small amounts of ground BARF with the feed, gradually increasing it. The important thing is to never force and respect the animal's adaptation time. As the days go by, the tutor will notice visible transformations. The breath improves, the coat gains shine, the animal shows more energy and disposition. For dogs that previously suffered from constant allergies, relief comes in the form of less itching, less skin inflammation, and more well-being. Every little progress is proof that the body is regaining its natural essence. However, none of this replaces professional monitoring. A specialized veterinarian may order periodic tests to evaluate calcium, phosphorus, iron, and other minerals. This is the safest way to personalize the diet and ensure that adaptation to BARF is not only instinctive, but also scientific. At the end of the day, adapting an adult dog to BARF is like offering a second chance. It is to rewrite the health history of that animal, giving it the opportunity to live with more quality, energy, and longevity. The process may be slower than with puppies, but the result is just as transformative. A healthier, happier companion ready to live fully. Despite the differences between puppies and adults, there is a basis that unites all phases of adaptation to BARF: the search for balance. The ratio of muscle meat, fleshy bones, organs, and vegetables is the heart of this diet, and respecting it means respecting the dog's nature. It doesn't matter if he is 2 months old or 6 years old, this structure ensures that the nutrients arrive in their most bioavailable form, ready to be absorbed by the body. Variety is also a crucial point. Just as we need different food sources to supply vitamins and minerals, dogs depend on diversity throughout the week. Alternating between red meat, poultry, fish, and organs of different types prevents nutritional deficiencies and strengthens the immune system. It is this variation that keeps the diet complete, safe, and interesting for the animal's palate. Another common factor in all phases is the importance of observation. The tutor becomes a true guardian of the dog's health, learning to read daily signs: the brightness of the coat, the vigor in the eyes, the consistency of the feces, the energy when playing or walking. Every detail tells a story about how the body is reacting, and these signs are far more telling than any kibble package that promises miracle formulas. Hydration, often forgotten, needs to be remembered for both puppies and adults. Although meat contains plenty of water, constant access to fresh, clean water is essential to maintain healthy kidneys, prevent colds, and ensure the proper functioning of the body. A well-hydrated dog is more active, more alert, and has less risk of developing kidney problems in the future. Periodic veterinary consultations are also an essential bridge. They not only validate that the tutor is on the right track, but allow you to adjust specific points according to the needs of each animal. Professional monitoring is what transforms a homemade diet into a truly balanced and safe diet. By uniting these pillars, balance, variety, observation, hydration, and monitoring, the tutor discovers that the transition to BARF is not just an exchange of food, but a change in lifestyle. Puppies gain a solid foundation to grow strong and healthy. Adults are given the opportunity to rewrite their health history, leaving behind the years of processed food and rediscovering the vitality that seemed lost. And in the end, what touches the owner's heart the most are not only the technical benefits, but the small everyday scenes that arise as a consequence: the puppy who runs with endless energy, the adult who returns to play as when he was young, the more lively look, the calmer breathing during sleep. These are the moments that prove that every effort was worth it. The truth is that adapting to BARF at any stage of life is an act of love. It is investing in quality of life, in extra years with your partner, and days of shared joy. It is to be sure that at each meal you are offering not only food, but health, vitality, and genuine care. If you've come this far, you already know. The key is to apply the right strategies at the right stage, respect your dog's rhythm, and never give up observation and monitoring. Take this test, try it, and see with your own eyes the transformation in your animal's body and spirit. Now it's up to you. If your dog is a puppy or an adult, tell us in the comments what stage he is in and how the adaptation is going. Share your experiences, because they can inspire and help other tutors to follow this same path. And remember, every food choice is a life choice. Subscribe to the channel to learn more about natural nutrition and canine health. Leave in the comments if your dog is a puppy or adult and how the adaptation to BARF is going. Share this video with other owners who want to see their dogs healthier and happier.